Okay. Yeah, welcome to session 21 of Priestess of the Silver Cave.
21.
Believe how long this thing's running. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Okay. The last session, you guys managed to find your way down into a cave area, mostly natural caves that have been carved and hewn away into the rock, but still largely natural, with a moisture and a that you haven't felt in quite a while. You managed to found some an area of cave with some big wooden platforms on it, and heading out beyond that, you found these weird degenerate humans with no eyes, and who attacked you in a cave full of mushrooms that they seem to have been harvesting. If I remember where we stopped correctly last week, or last time, you got back out onto the wooden platforms, having searched the bodies and looked around the caves to the northeast.
Yeah, I think we decided that we got to the point where we were so reinforced and stuff that whatever was coming was going to be wiped, and we were at a point where we could either carry on exploring that deeper cave or going further up. So we didn't actually, if I ping, we didn't actually look beyond here, did we?
No.
No, that was as far as you got.
Yeah, so we wiped out the mushrooms around here.
Mushrooms?
The people,
sorry.
Mushroom pickers.
Yeah, and that was the point
where we stopped,
I think. Yeah.
Just as the battle ended. So we could go back in now and have an explore.
I think you had. I think you killed the people and then went back in and explored, and then, in my head at least, you came back out onto the wooden platforms, and that was where we ended.
No, the backing out was a retreat after me and Ollie went in, and we hadn't gone back in. We literally killed them, and you said we'll call that a day there.
Because we had to wait for Simon's character to come across and join us before I
thought you'd finished fighting them.
I can't remember. Yeah.
No, I mean we finished fighting them, but we didn't go back in.
No.
You definitely finished fighting them.
Yeah. So
outside.
So Louis, the ping there is where we finished fighting them.
Okay.
We basically created a bottleneck. They all came through and they got obliterated.
Yeah.
And at that point we called it. So myself and Ollie, the furthest part we got was about here. Yeah. No one's been any further than that.
Oh, okay, right. In which case, that all sounds good. So in which case, we'll start you there.
We feeling safe we can all go in now?
Okay, so on my
I'm positive you got further, because otherwise I wouldn't have opened up that last
we
cave.
we got to the back of the cave, and that's when the rest turned up. Because they were in the back part of the cave. And they retreated back to us. So they did get to the end, look round the corner, but whether they explored it or not.
You opened that whole area.
No, you only opened the first part, but you went in and met the second group and backed out.
All right. Look,
I can't really remember, to be completely honest.
I think you've looked at all of it. Let's rather than run round and round, so let's say you've looked at all of it. So, what am I doing? I've got the wrong one open. Let me get on the right screen for a start. That would help. Right. So, the large cave is hang on a sec.
Fella mash.
Right screen. The large cave is used for has been used for growing mushrooms. And in the far end there are bedrolls and clothing.
I remember that.
Yeah. So you've got in and you found bedrolls and clothing and baskets of mushrooms.
Okay. Double check, Louis. All the vigor damage we took from that combat is healed at the end.
Vigor damage is now healed.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So we're going back out to the platform then. So where we are, and we're going to climb the platforms, I suppose.
I think we're at the point now where that's where we need to head up to there to be able to move down there.
Mm-hmm.
To explain to Simon, those dark bits are different platforms at different levels. Each one's higher.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're on the bottom one, which is the smallest one, and we're going to work our way up to the tunnel at the top by climbing the black ladders.
So when we first came here, Simon, Baldur wanted to stay there, providing cover with his bow.
Mm-hmm.
And when we encountered the enemy, Baldur was able to effectively fire shots off. And then when they were killed, he came over and joined us there. So that's where we all are at the moment. And each of these little marks here is a wooden ladder leading up to a higher platform, with the black marks here being a rough-hewn wooden barricade.
Barricade, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Aladai, we've done well so far. Do you think we should try and peek our nose through that corridor we saw up top?
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you want us to wait here, or are we going to follow? Are you going to wave when you're ready?
I would say maybe if we can collate the party on the top level, but away from the entrance, and then me and Aladai will sneak forward a little bit, so that if something does happen, at least you're on the right level to come to our aid if needed.
Yeah.
Or run away. Yep.
Or run away. Exactly that. So I'll start up the ladder. I think Aladai will probably follow shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you get to the top of the ladder, and kind of similar to the cave where they were growing the mushrooms. The tunnel that you look into is really roughly hewn. It's kind of leveled out a little bit on the floor, but basically it looks like it's a completely natural passage. It doesn't look like any of the walls have been chiseled away. It's just that the floor's been worn through where people have been walking on it. The tunnel runs slightly uphill as you look into it, and you can see a little way up it branches off to the right or continues straight ahead.
Aladai, I don't like branches in the road.
Nope.
Let's get to a point where I'll take the right wall and I'll look left. You take the right wall parallel to me and you look right.
Okay.
So we're going to sneak up to about here, with me looking towards the east and Aladai looking down towards the south.
Yeah.
Okay. So to the east, again, you can see the tunnel runs up, and it twists and it turns and it's uneven, and it's gradually gaining in height going that way. To the south, what Aladai spots is the beginning of, again, rough-hewn steps.
Right.
Uneven heights, but just basically to make it easier to keep your footing on what looks like a steeper, water eroded tunnel.
Very quickly, Louis. Are the steps in this area any more steep than the steps in the level above?
Not really, no. They're about the same.
Okay. Because obviously the main foes in the level above were significantly bigger than us.
Oh, sorry. You mean yes? No. These are. Sorry, I see what you mean. No, when you were up in the tomb, the steps there were slightly taller than was comfortable because these guys were really big. These seem the degenerate warriors that you killed earlier on, the blind, pale skinned things were sort of, I don't know, 5'6", 5'8", something like that. These steps look more like they're made to those kind of proportions than to the vast guys in the area above.
Fantastic. So that's the key thing that I've only just realised that I'm looking for. So I'm going to turn to Aladai. Obviously, bow drawn, arrow knocked, new area, and go. I think we're beyond the undead. We met upstairs, but there appears to be a new batch of foes down here.
So it would seem, though these seem a bit easier to deal with than they were.
Maybe, but they are definitely suited to this environment.
Yeah, you need to be wary.
It would appear that with the amount of light available, that they are more sound-based than visual. So silence is paramount, as sadly I encountered last time.
Indeed.
I will not let it happen again.
That would not be great. Which
Um,
path do we want to take first? Keep on the same level?
I personally would like to bring Baldur Cager to this crossroads. So whichever route we decided to take, we've got protection to our rear.
Agreed, that makes sense.
And again, I'll agree that the same level would be best, so we try and head east first. But with Cager acting and Baldur acting
Closer behind. Yeah.
basically there.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me.
Okay. So,
In fact, what I'm going to do, Louis, sorry for interrupting you there, is I'm going to throw one of my momentum out the deck following the end of combat. Simulate tick.
okay, yep.
There you go.
Okay, so Aladai and Genghis continue to push on up the path, and before too much longer, you find another fork in the path. The tunnels are getting slightly narrower as well, and as they go on, in particular, the one to the right gets it's even narrower.
Hmm.
As much as I'd like to say cover both corridors at the same time, I don't think Genghis would be keen to do that. So, Aladai, let's pick a tunnel with no intentions to engage anyone. Let's just find out where one of them leads before we review the other.
Right. Left first.
So the northern of the two, please.
Okay. I'll let you out of your misery.
They loop round.
As you get a little way further through, you realise that the tunnel rejoins.
I suspected that and all.
Yeah, this is a definitely water eroded tunnel that you're creeping your way up, and it's getting narrower and narrower. But it's this is definitely where there was a branch in the flow of it at some point in the future, and it rejoins. When you get to the farthest point, you can see that. I mean, you can see that the tunnel creeps on ahead, but it is getting narrower and narrower, and much further on. Well, from any point further on than this, if Genghis is behind Aladai, he's not going to be able to shoot past him.
Right.
And Aladai is going to find it difficult to use. Actually, has Aladai got a shield anymore?
No, he gave it to...
So in which case it doesn't really matter anyway, but using a shield in a corridor this narrow would be really, really tricky. You'll kind of get into the point where it's only going to be about sort of 2 feet wide, maybe. It looks like there might even be points where you're going to have to kind of almost squeeze through to get any further in.
Yeah.
Okay, if Genghis were to kneel down to make a shot, would Aladai be able to throw a dagger above him?
Question is, it depends on the point in the tunnel as to whether or not you could kneel down quickly and still get a shot off. It's getting decidedly cramped in there.
Okay.
It's not low, but it is narrow.
Okay, I think at this point then, Genghis probably shoulder his bow and draw his stiletto.
Okay.
And whilst we're walking, I'm actively looking, not for changes in rock formation or anything like that, but signs of something that doesn't belong here, such as bones or some sort of waste or something that would indicate that there's something living down this corridor.
Okay. Yeah, okay. But other than that, you're carrying on.
I think we need to just a little bit to give us a sort of margin, really.
Okay. So that tunnel continues to go on for a little way, and then you get to a point where it really narrows, and it does look like it keeps going, but as it curves round the next corner, you're pretty much going to have to go sideways if you're going to carry on any further. You're not going to be able to face forwards. You're going to have to turn your whole body on and get through what's barely more than a wide crack in the rock.
Have you got any form of caltrops or glass or anything like that, Aladai?
Time to make a shopping list for the next time you're in a town.
Yes. No.
Or could you make a... Would you be able to make a tripwire trap of some form?
Using a bowstring.
I'm sure I've probably got a spare bowstring. Just to give us an indication if something comes this way, because I'm sure a corridor this narrow, the echo would travel quite well.
Yeah.
And if they travel by sound rather than sight, they're probably unlikely to know it's there.
It's a good call.
Who's carrying the
Problem
line?
is the problem is going to be trying to
Anchor it.
find something to tie it to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is just pretty much solid rock down here.
Okay. Are there any signs of
There's
movement in this
nothing that
area?
you can see to say that anything's passed this way.
So there's no moisture on the ground that may hold a footprint, or there's no
No, I mean,
materials or items that don't belong here.
there's no materials or items. The problem we're looking for footprints is this is rock. It's not soft.
That's why I asked
and
if there was moisture.
Yeah, but there's moisture around this place anyway.
Does it look well worn? Apart from water, that's the question.
Apart from water, it doesn't look as well worn as further down, but it's pretty difficult to tell, to be honest.
I think we've gone there. There's not disputing that there can't be anything there. We're not disputing that at all. In fact, that's probably where their main village is likely to be, if anything. I say, Aladai, we check up the stairs a little bit, see what's up there before we make a call.
Yep.
It's down the stairs rather than up the stairs.
Oh, is it down? Cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing. I say we get an idea of where that leads, and then we make a decision with the rest of the party, give them the information on what little we saw, but what could be there.
Okay.
In fact, that might make sense. They might be hiding there to ensure that the undead guardians from up top can't get through. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it isn't. That's just my speculation.
Right, so we're going to go back and look at the stairs.
Yeah, so we'll debrief Aladai and Actian and Baldur and Cage on what little we saw to the east, but what could be there, and then suggest that we move forward.
Okay.
Are we going upstairs or downstairs? Just out of curiosity.
It's downstairs because there
Down.
aren't any upstairs. Well, unless you go back the way you came. Okay, so you creep down the stairs, which I say it pulls off, and then the stairs start again. So it's kind of on and off, on and off, on and off, and then you get down to a another junction. So there is a the two of you just make me a quick observation roll. Do one each rather than
And I'll re-roll that 20 because I can, Mr.
Yeah.
GM.
that's all right.
That's a success for me.
Okay.
I think that's 2 for me, yeah.
Okay. So the air to the west feels dead and kind of still, but there's quite a strong musky aroma coming from that tunnel. The air towards the south, down the next set of steps, I should open those up a little, down the next set of steps, that there's a slight breeze to it, and there's possibly, just possibly, a faint hint of almost of salt from it. but there's more movement in the air from that direction. I mean, there's not like much of a breeze, but the air to the west definitely feels still very dead. Where the one off to the south, it's just a little less.
You hinted at a musky smell to the west.
Yeah.
Is that similar to any aroma coming from the cavern to the north, the mushrooms?
Yeah, it is. It's got that kind of muskiness to it that you got from those mushrooms.
I'm going to literally right into Aladai's ear, so he's very close, because I know what he's like with sound, and just say, I think to the west maybe another mushroom farm, and we're likely to find the those weird humanoid things. I think we should bring the rest of the party to this T-junction.
Yeah, agree.
If you remain here, I'll head back and bring them down.
Good.
Even though you're the one with the light, it feels very dark as Genghis leaves.
Yeah.
And there is the clanking and unnecessary noise as the others creep down the stairs behind you, trying to be quiet.
I can be very quiet.
Yep. But there's nothing like sitting silently at the bottom of a very, very, very silent place and having to hear people coming down the stairs above you. It doesn't matter how quiet you are, Aladai's still going to be sitting there going, "You be quiet."
Yep.
But yeah, within a couple of minutes, the group of you are all at that junction there.
I suggest we position ourselves in a marching order. We're happy with combat. If anyone objects, I'd say Actian and Cage are up front. Baldor takes the middle, and myself and Aladai take the rear. And we take the corridor to the west.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can't do a cagey voice.
I've got Cage rear anyway.
I know.
I just love the fact that it's like, we'll creep in. This might be a bit dodgy. Everybody else go first.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Whoa. Cage would want.
That's a fair point.
And I am as stealthy as those two, near enough, so...
Okay, so who's carrying... I know Aladai's got a lamp. Who else is carrying a lamp?
I'm still carrying a lamp.
Cage has got
Okay.
tact and diplomacy, so she wouldn't.
No, that's all right. We can do it with just Aladai and Actian holding lamps, if that's what people want.
If we get the combat, though, I'll put it down and get my shield out.
Yeah, might
Seems
take
like
you
fun.
around if you don't just want to drop it and let it kind of go out and set fire to your feet.
Exactly. I'll throw it at someone.
Genghis tried that once and it didn't work too well. I advise not doing it.
Not dropping it, throwing it will be alright.
Okay, so you guys creep onward down the corridor, and eventually you get to a point where the cavern opens up in front of you, and as you go, you do smell the musk of those really earthy mushrooms just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. As it opens out and you can see the mushroom beds growing, one of the things that you notice if you look carefully is there don't appear to be any tracks through these mushroom beds. When you went into the cave previously, there was they'd obviously like started at one end and started working their way through the mushrooms, and there was like a little path through the mushrooms. Here you don't see that. There is just a sea of mushrooms in front of you, like a dark underground field of mushrooms.
How big are these mushrooms compared to the other room? Do they look juvenile, or are they still as large?
They're not as large, but they're about 2/3 to 3/4 the size. So yeah, there's probably a way to go before they're as large as the ones that you saw. So if they were harvesting the ones up there, yeah, this could be a juvenile cave.
Do they seem to be the same variety, though?
They look like it, yeah.
Right.
So where are we standing right at the moment? We just entered the entrance to the cave.
Yeah.
So how far is that with our lamps burning bright as they do?
Okay, so I've got you guys about there.
Yeah. Yep.
With your lamps looking out into the cave, if you want to start definitely looking to see how far you can see out into the cave, I'd say you could probably see at least that much of the cave. This is a pretty big cave.
High ceiling?
High forehead.
Fairly high ceiling, yeah.
Yes, so no problem that's swinging this all over your head or anything, right?
No, it's quite a high ceiling in here, and it just opens out. You get the feeling that it stretches on away beyond your lamplight. If that's kind of how far you can see moderately well.
Right. Is
Beyond
there any loose
that,
rocks? Any loose rocks underfoot?
not that you can see, no. Basically, it comes up, and then just as it dips, almost like over a crest, suddenly there's this area of kind of sandy soil that the mushrooms are growing in.
Okay. I'm just wondering about disturbing the mushrooms in case they let off spores or something that are poisonous.
That's pretty good shout, actually. What I'm tempted to do, Louis, is are there any pebbles or anything as such on the ground?
That's what I was
I'm sure
for.
there's like there's little loose bits of gravel here
I
or
want
there.
to throw one out into the mushrooms and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But further into the cave.
Yeah. Well, I was going to try it when I could hit, definitely.
So if
But a distance away, 10 feet plus away.
To be honest, to try it, the way these mushrooms are clustered, if you throw a stone out, it will hit a mushroom.
But I want to see the result. I don't want to be close enough to be affected by the result, but I want to see the result.
Aim over there. We're aiming over there.
Okay, yeah, you pick up a stone and throw it out, and it kind of arches over and just like tunk, and takes out a mushroom or two before it hits the cave wall.
There's funny clouds of dust or anything coming up?
Nope.
Okay. Is there room to walk without disturbing them? Walk through without disturbing the mushrooms?
One of you, if you were really, really careful, might be able to, but it would be a tricky job to try and find. They're basically it is a field of mushrooms.
I know, just the man. We've got just the man for the job.
Aladai.
Right. Okay.
Stealth, acrobatics. What more could you want?
Yeah. If these are the same mushrooms, wasn't I pretty sure what type of mushrooms they were?
Well, you knew they weren't dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a feeling.
I took some of them.
You did some sort of test.
Yeah, you did. You
took
took some to see what they were, and you thought they were fairly similar to ones that you'd come across.
Yeah.
Not entirely the same, but fairly similar.
So they're fairly safe. So you're just saying they're safe. Go on, right?
Yeah, but what if they're screaming mushrooms?
Well,
then there might be no problem.
But while we throw the pebble, I'm more concerned for any sounds of movement coming from the deeper of the cave.
It's as far as you can tell, it's completely silent.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm suggesting we go carefully through the middle or send Allardyce to have a look, whichever one.
I vote for carefully through the middle.
As a party, go carefully through the middle.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so just kind of
Yeah, I mean, tell
Track
Cage
through
not to hack them all up as she goes along, all right?
Maintain our marching route, but we're marching order, but we're heading west.
okay.
Try and stay on as few as possible, but you know.
So by the time you get to the point where the light is kind of fairly similar to the edge of where you can see at the moment, gradually the cave opens up in front of you, and you start to see the end wall. And by the time you're about halfway into the middle of the cave, you can see all the way to the far wall, and the mushrooms look like they just run all the way up there. There's occasional drips from the ceiling, just of moisture dripping down onto the soil.
It's not making any stalagmites.
No, doesn't seem to be.
Lights go up, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
And it definitely doesn't look like there's any body or anything in the cave other than just a vast cave of mushrooms.
Shrugging my shoulders and relaxing. I'm quite happy to head back there.
Yeah, I think we head back and just carry on down those stairs.
Yeah.
Do you want a
Okay.
sample of the mushrooms, Allardyce?
That's smaller, so he might carefully take one maybe. But yeah, he's pretty sure they're the same kinds as the one we saw in the other room, so he won't take very many.
I mean, you might be able to glean some sort of poison from them, or some sort of food substance, or...
I think they're more food substance, but might still be useful.
Okay. So you guys going? Are we doing the same thing? Sending Allardyce and Genghis on down the next set of stairs.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me.
So the tunnel continues on.
We're going to follow about 15 feet behind us. They're out of sight. We're going to follow, creep along behind them. Because there's nothing to defend.
Yeah. So it continues to make its way down, sometimes a little steeper, sometimes not quite so steep. It rounds this corner, and you creep carefully around that, trying to make sure that you do it. And when you get to the bottom, there's an opening as it opens into what is very, very definitely a huge cave.
Hmm.
You can sense it. You know, it arches up into the roof above you, and you know there's just like little things that tell you, even in the pitch darkness, that you are in a big space.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll poke our heads around the corner and see they've stopped, so we're waiting on the S-bend.
I would point to Allardyce's lamp. Do that symbol to kill the lamp. And then put two fingers to my ear, so we're just listening for a little while.
Yeah, Allardyce would do that.
Just out of curiosity, how's he intend to relight them?
He'll light it from your lamp that's already lit.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Because putting the lamp out won't help much, because we're just round the corner and we can see you.
Yeah, but that's
It'll
sort
be
of
dark,
like...
but it won't be
Yeah,
dark.
Yeah, but it'll be less obvious light.
Okay.
So, yeah, you stop and you listen. And there are occasional sounds of drips. Not very often, but an occasional sound of a drip that just, it gives you a sense of this is a big cave. Other than that, I don't think you can't quite hear anything.
Right.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think you'd be able to hear anything from there. It's just a very wide, still space. And very
Okay.
oppressively dark, even though you're bathed in the light of the lamp from kind of 10 feet, 15 feet behind you, almost round the bend.
Yeah, I'd point back to the rest of the party for Allardyce to follow me.
Yep.
And get into like the lamp and say, guys, I think you should remain here for now. There's a huge cavern ahead. We think it's really huge. Me and Allardyce go ahead and pick a direction, left or right. I'll let Allardyce choose. I think we'll follow the wall just to try and get an idea of the perimeter.
You don't want us to stand in the entrance of the lamp, so you've got something to head back to if you rush.
No. I think even if you were stood there, your lamp, that would create enough glow from the entrance where we'd know where to go if we had to.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah, I
reasonable to me.
imagine. Yeah.
Polish my sword and armour while I'm waiting. It's very quiet doing that.
Using a whetstone.
No, polish. I didn't say sharp.
Yeah.
Clean, polish. Wipe over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd once Allardyce's lamp was lit, I'd point ahead and go left or right. Down to you.
Motion
across the middle.
left.
Straight across the middle.
So you're going to go
Motion
left.
left and start going. Yep.
Is that left from direction of travel or left from the view of the map?
Yeah. Left from direction of travel.
So we are
So to
going
the east.
that way.
East.
So we're going east.
Okay. So you guys, as you step out into the space, there's just this. I say, there's your lamplight, which you can kind of see slightly further than I've got highlighted, but it's pretty dim. And then there's just this blackness beyond it.
Yeah.
The sense of exposure is really horrible. The wall cave moves away from you, and you're creeping along next to it. You're on a sheer rock floor, and eventually, as you get a fair way away from the doorway, you spot two things. One is that there is a cliff edge. You can see the rock goes on and then just stops. The second thing that you can see is, at that point just there,
Ladder.
it looks like the top of a ladder.
This cliff face goes down rather than up.
It goes down rather than up.
So I'm going to whisper very, very quietly to Allardyce. If we can get one to the top of the ladder, then we can carry on searching the room, and at least we've got our forward guarded.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Actian is the most stealthy.
Yep, I'd say that makes sense.
Do you want me to head back or shall you?
You can if you want to. I really
So-
don't mind.
Yeah, so I'm going to head back to the faint glow coming from the cave we left.
Okay.
Who else has
You're
got a
gonna go-
lamp lit before I walk away?
Me.
That's what I'm saying. So if I head towards faint glow coming from the cave you were in, Actian,
Yeah.
maybe
I
ask
can hear what Charlie's saying.
ask you to pass the lamp to Baldur, and then and then we'll head towards Allardyce's lamp.
And then you're leaving at the top of the ladder with no lamp.
Yeah, you'll be alright. If anything comes up the ladder, you'll sense it, you'll hear it.
No, I'm hanging on to my lamp. I'm no fool.
How many lamps have we got?
Oh, I think you've still got a lamp each. I don't think any of them have been broken or lost yet.
So we'll get Cager to light one of hers and just hold on to Cat for now.
Okay.
All right.
Are you going over to the top of the ladder before you go back, or are you staying where you are?
So the plan was Allardyce still at the top of the ladder.
I didn't get you all the way to the top of the ladder. I got you to the point where you were against the wall and could see the ladder.
Okay. Then we would both get to the top of the ladder first.
Okay.
Before heading back.
So you can see from the top of the ladder probably an area about like that. So below you, it's a bit difficult to make out because the lamplight doesn't illuminate down very well. But you think you can see the bottom of the you can see the bottom of the roughly where the bottom of the ladder is, and like I say, it just the cliff goes off in either side. So yeah, you head back to the doorway and creep forward again with with Actian having set up the set another lamp with Baldur and
before we leave
Cager.
the stairs, before I leave Baldur and Cager, I'm going to ask what we're doing and why. Because we're splitting the party up into three things. I want to know what happens at the first sign of any trouble or somebody shouting or anything. Do we all run back to that point and meet, or what are we doing?
Okay, so the plan is that myself and Allardyce are going to quietly search the rest of the room. You're effectively covering the top of the ladder because we still don't know that the room's secure, but you're quite stealthy. And at the first sign of trouble, we will all go to you on the top of the ladder.
Really? Okay. Depends where the trouble is.
Yeah, but at least that way we all go to a known place. So your only task is literally to, if anything comes out that ladder, swing at it and then to alert us.
What happens if you meet something?
Then we'll back up to you and we'll deal with it as a group.
Okay.
Okay, so just to check, we've got Cager and Baldur at the bottom of the stairs, at the entrance to the cave. Actian's going to wait at the top of the ladder, while Allardyce and Genghis climb down the ladder.
No, we're searching the rest of the room.
Okay, you're going to search the rest of the top of this shelf.
Correct.
Okay.
There's too much left uncovered yet before we move on.
Okay, you going back to the wall and around, or are you going to head your way along the cliff?
So me and Allardyce are both... me and Actian are both going to go straight to Allardyce, so we're going to head in that direction there.
Yeah.
And then from that point, myself and Allardyce carry on in that direction.
Okay. Okay. So you guys head your way back over across the edge of the cliff. You get back to the point where you can you can see Baldur and Kaja crouched in the doorway, who can likewise see your lamp as you work your way out. You can just see the floor at the bottom of the cliff, about the same distance. You know, it's about 10 foot, 12 foot down. So you continue to make your way along the edge of that cliff. And it does just seem to be a ragged cliff top. And then eventually, when you get back out to about there, you can see a second ladder.
Oh, fuck.
That's awkward.
Why is it awkward? Continue to search the area that you're on.
Yeah, we'll keep looping around.
Just loop around and get back to where you start.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen me waving or shout or do something.
This is true.
And uncover it to make it flash or do something. So
yeah, no, we'll keep going.
Okay, so you get to the top of the ladder, and again that just leads you back to what you assume at this point is the same wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to do this all in one. You eventually make your way back along that wall.
Okay.
So there is a wide open area, and the cave doesn't feel any smaller at the edge of that cliff than it did when you were in the... I was saying the cave doesn't feel any smaller when you're on the edge of that cliff anywhere around there than it did in the from when you first walked into it. You don't feel like you're anywhere near the edges of this place. It's really big.
Mm.
I think I'd whisper to Actian, sorry, Aladai. I say we pick a ladder, one or the other, and make a commitment.
Yep. I imagine they both lead us down to the same cave, so wrong, but
Aladai's already to the east, so I say we get Keiju and Baldur and meet up with Actian.
yep, makes sense.
Okay. So you guys are gonna kind of quietly shuffle all back to the ladder top that Actian's crouched by.
Mm-hmm.
feeling much better now.
Yeah, I bet. It's less exposed rather than unexposed, but okay. So what's the plan now?
Go down the ladder. Can we see anything down the hole? While I've been sitting there all that time, what can I see off the edge?
What you can see off the edge is about 12 feet down. You can see a rock floor. There are kind of some pebbles around at the base of it, but other than that, it doesn't look very different to the rock floor that you're sat on at the moment.
But was this shelf made by water, like a mini waterfall, or was it hewn out by something or somebody?
It looks natural. It doesn't look man-made. It doesn't look like it's been chiseled away.
No, that's fine.
The ladder is wood, and in this atmosphere, it still seems to be fairly. It's kind of fairly crudely made, but it seems to be fairly sturdy. It doesn't look like it's kind of 80 years old and is falling apart, which, given the moisture in the cave, means that it's probably been renewed at some point fairly soon.
So where do
fairly
they get-
recently, rather.
Yeah, where do they get all this wood from?
Mm.
Right. Well, it looks like somebody's going down the ladder. Could be me. As I'll probably be familiar with this bit, I've been sitting looking at it for a while.
Yeah.
I've got no objection to that unless you want me to go first.
Oh, I always love a volunteer.
Okay, I'll go first. Done.
All right.
That's how pirates stay alive.
Okay. So Baldur, I'm guessing, is going to be going down one-handed, carrying a lamp.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you make me a stealth roll?
Probably not.
Yes, he can. The question
He
is,
can
how
always-
well can he roll
How
it?
well can you make a stealth roll?
Okay, so that's 2d20, isn't it?
It is. You've got a 0-11.
Yeah.
One.
So the good news is that one of those, the 10, is a success. The bad
19
news is
is a complication because you're not trained in.
19 is a complication because you're not trained in stealth. So yeah, Actian kind of Baldur kind of shuffles over the edge and gets down, and you
I know what's going to
hear-
happen. I know what's going to happen.
You hear small stones that he manages to pull over as he goes down, just like drop and bounce across the top. It
Yeah,
only
no, it's
sounds
basic.
loud because everything is so silent. But oh my life, does it sound loud? And it echoes a little. But you know, by this point, hell, you're halfway down the ladder. You might as well carry on.
Yeah, no, let's carry on.
Okay. So you get down to the bottom of the ladder, and you've got a feeling you can see off ahead of you. So there's a couple of things that you can see. One is just off, about as far as your lamplight can show. You think you can see a tunnel entrance, just off up here. But the other thing is that you've got a feeling you can. It looks as though there's maybe another edge slightly further away from this cliff. It's kind of difficult to tell.
Okay, I'm going to
You going to summon some more of us down, or are you?
tell everyone what I've seen and then try and have a look at that passage that seems to be heading sort of like northeast.
So you're going to call up.
They're going to make a lot of noise.
Yeah,
so wave
yeah,
at us.
I'll call up. Come on, we haven't had any combat yet, so let's have some.
Yay!
Okay.
You lot are all safe up a ladder, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So sorry. So you're gonna call up and say,
It's all clear.
There's a big space down here. It seems like a bigger cave. I've seen a passage. I'm going to go and investigate the entrance of it.
Found a hole. I'm going in.
okay. So Baldur's gonna, I'm guessing, move along the edge of the cliff to
Yeah.
that point. So what are the rest of you doing as you suddenly see the lamp move further off?
Well, we can see him and the lamp
stopped
move further off.
wincing.
Because we've got a better view now. He's down there with the lamp.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's safe to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to climb down with my lamp.
Okay. So you climb down and get to the bottom.
Yeah.
Baldur, in the meantime, as you're climbing down the lamp, gets to
Climbing the
the cave mouth. The one that is just about there. And again, you can see. Let me just double check something. Yeah. So what you can see as you start to get close to the mouth of the cave is a number of sacks. Actually, it's just inside there. So as you get to the mouth of the cave, you can see that the cave just opens up a bit, and where it opens up, you can see a number of sacks. And the muskiness that I've identified with the caves containing mushrooms before seems again to be really, really strong here. Stronger than you've smelt probably anywhere else.
Okay. But I still can't see all of the cave, yeah?
Not without going in.
Okay, I'm going to go in.
Okay. What's Action doing when he gets to the bottom of the ladder?
I'm taking a couple of steps towards Baldor, but not much further. So let's see what happens.
That's fair. The other guy's up on the shelf.
Um,
Probably effing and jeffing at the fact that they've just walked off alone.
We haven't walked off alone. We're in sight.
Similar to what Baldor done on the other platform.
Get at the top.
Realizing that I'm tactically advantageous from the top, I'm going to take a knee to get a firm position, and I'm going to try to start covering the two other cave areas that we can see a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Aladai, Cager?
Alodai would probably suggest to Cager that they should go down as well.
Oh,
unless...
Cager would be down before Aladai.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cager goes down. Baldor moves slightly deeper into this cave. As you get to the mouth of the cave, you can see it kind of opens up, and the cave at this point is kind of largely empty. It still kind of creeps uphill slightly, and there's, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 sacks loosely tucked off against the walls. But ahead of you to the north, the cave mouth narrows again, but the cave narrows again to form a further passageway heading further up.
Okay, I'm going to stop and stand very carefully and listen to what's going on.
Okay. Okay, you can't hear anything. How quiet's Actian being?
I'm standing there at the moment, watching Cager come down the ladder.
Okay. You can't. You can hear some very muffled noises from behind you, but you can't hear anything from in front of you. It is as silent as the grave.
Okay, I'm going to then move further up towards the end of the cave that tapes into another corridor.
Okay. So if you get to the point where you're almost in the corridor, you can see the corridor moves, another 15 foot further up, and then it just gradually looks like it opens up.
Okay, I'll go back to where the sacks were then and wait patiently there.
Okay, you gonna have a look in the sacks, or?
Yeah, I'll have a rummage in the sacks.
Okay, when you open the first sack, the smell is really, really overpowering, and it is this musky smell. And you look in, and the sacks are just full of mushrooms.
Okay. I shall then leave the sacks alone and wait patiently just in the in the sort of like big area where the sacks are.
Okay. What the rest of you doing?
I'm going to wander out towards the little bit of cliff edge we can see. You said it was cliff edge.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to get a half the distance, enough that I can see more.
Okay.
Which will allow me to see back towards Baldor if I need to, I think.
Okay. So can I? Let me just
Heading
shift
out
windows
to
for a
about
sec.
there. Did I click on it? Or not?
Click and hold.
About there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
about halfway.
Yeah. So Baldor's kind of up here
Yeah.
at the moment. You're coming out to about there.
Yeah, I'm not looking to where Baldor's gone yet. I'm looking where
Okay.
I'm going and see what's coming up out of the light,
Okay.
the gloom. But hoping I'll be able to see Baldor if I look back.
You can see the cliff edge as it kind of moves out. Once you get that a little bit further out, you can see the cliff wall as it comes round and meets that. Well, you see the cliff edge and you can see the cave wall as it comes round to meet it. And yeah, outside of that, there's just this huge blackness. Kind of when you were in the caves further up and you saw them stretching out, you could kind of make out in the distance, you know, there's there might be a wall there. Here, you just get nothing like that at all. You just hold your lamp up and hold it out, and there's just nothing.
Okay. I'll have a look over my shoulder now. I'm quite comfortable in one direction and see if I can see Baldor.
Yeah, you can see Baldor standing. From where you are, you can just about see Baldor just standing by what looks like a set of sacks in a cave.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, from where you are, you can probably make out the other tunnel behind him.
Yeah.
In the light from his lamp.
That's the way for the others to come on a bit.
So Cager's got down to the bottom of the ladder.
Yep.
Just leaving Genghis and Aladai at the top.
Mm-hmm.
So she's got a lamp as well, so she'd probably move to about here.
Okay. So she moves further out, and the cliff edge kind of opens out beyond her. You can still just see it heading away into the darkness.
Sorry, Aladai, but I think Cager at this point would call back and go, "It's clear, boys. Come on down."
Probably.
Go in there, pussies.
Anna would maybe wince a bit, but he would then start to climb down the ladder.
You have no choice.
And that's the thing I love about D&D. You can play a character exactly how they play it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Aladai still quite quietly creeps down the ladder. Genghis following as well when he gets to the bottom?
I would wait until Aladai was at the bottom, then I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll wave at Cager and go and follow Baldor. Or at least get back together as a group while Baldor explores.
I think by the time it'd take Cager to get there and myself and Aladai to get down, I think Baldor would be deeper in, wouldn't he?
He stopped at the sacks. I can see it.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll go and join him. Cager's covering my back.
So Baldor's waiting here.
Yeah, I'm going to go and join him.
Okay. Is Cager going to carry on waiting there, or is she going to go back to where you guys are as well?
Cager's not really one to tear off on her own, though. Cover someone, yes, but to tear off on her own, no. So I think she'd wait for Genghis and Aladai to get there. Then I think Genghis would discuss with Aladai the benefits of following Baldur and Actaeon or covering the rest of this area.
Yeah.
I think Genghis would rather check this area out to make sure there's nothing to jump us from behind.
Mm-hmm.
A ladder for escape route.
So I've got Actaeon, Aladai, Genghis, and Kaja kind of near the bottom of the ladder, trying to work out what to do next, while Actaeon walks into the cave where Baldur is.
Yeah. I'll ask him what's in the sex.
And I shall say, can you not smell it?
Very pungent.
Yes. They obviously like their mushrooms around here.
My favourite sort of mushroom.
Then I'll point out that there's more of a corridor up ahead that seems to open out into a bigger space. And where are the rest of them? What do they want to do?
Well, they're all standing at the bottom of the ladder, confused, I think.
I'll sod them then. Let's move on and go and investigate the big
Let's go
space
and
up
investigate.
ahead.
Yep, we'll go have a look.
Okay. So you guys will make your way up the corridor. You've both got a lamp each, haven't you?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So you make your way up the corridor.
Quietly, I suppose, quietly, sensibly quietly.
Yeah. And when you get to the doorway to the corridor, you can basically see an area that opens up in front of you. Again, it's got quite a high roof, and as soon as you get to the entrance to the cave, it ducks down just slightly, and there's this same sandy soil, this time with the remnants of mushrooms that have been harvested. It's littering the cave as far as you can see it.
Are there any harvesters? People standing around that we can see?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think. Shall we follow it round to the west, Charlie, and see if it's an enclosed area or it's got another corridor running off of it?
We'll stick to the wall where we are and go around to the west here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you start to work your way around the cave, yeah, you do get to the point quite quickly where you can see the whole of the inside of that cave, and it's completely
really boring. Yeah.
it is fairly boring. It is just mushrooms, or it's the remains of where mushrooms have been harvested.
Can I drag this up with my sword through the soil and see what's left?
Yeah, the soil's not that deep, and it's more almost like sand than soil. I mean, it is soil, but it's a pretty weak soil. But yeah, as you
fibrous mushroom
scrape
roots,
the sword through it. Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll head back, I suppose.
Okay.
We can head back and join the
I
bottom
think
of the
we'll
ladder.
head back and join the others, seeing what they've decided to do.
Yep. That's
Well,
it,
they
then
would-
end.
Yeah, while they were doing that, I think we would have started heading west.
So we'll head off and catch them up.
Okay. So, Kaja, Aladai, and Genghis together as one group heading west, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So you make it not that much further than Kaja already was when you start to see the cliff edge kind of. There's a raised area just by it, and it swings out to your left as you're working your way along. And if you take like a few more steps and get just closer to it, eventually you realize that there is a span, and it looks like an stone arch that spans out. From where you are, you can just see the bottom of it about 10 foot below.
Hold on, look at that. Because we can see it from the side.
Yeah, as you start to come out of the cave mouth, you can probably just about make it out by the time by the time you get there.
There were plenty of stone spans in Skyrim.
I've not necessarily copied Skyrim, okay? I ripped off a couple of ideas. I have not necessarily...
This is the back cave. You just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Genghis wants to check the rest of this level before we even contemplate crossing the span. But he says to Cager, he's got a lamp. Do you mind remaining here as a sentry? Certainly, go ahead.
So you're going to go to you're going to stay kind of, I've got you in my head. I've got you now about kind of here.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah? Not over here or over here, but kind of halfway across.
I'd say we're about here at the moment.
Okay, so you've actually got right up. So that's where you want Cager to wait, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going to give her instructions to tell us to wait with her, or?
You were heading back to us anyway, and there's nowhere else
I
to
know.
go.
When we get there, we could go across the bridge. We don't have to wait for you. Is that you giving her any instructions or anything, or just wait here?
Well, she's just there, basically waiting until we've searched the rest of this floor, and then we'll regroup and move across.
Right.
Okay. So, just so I do know, when Baldur and Actian get to Cager, are you going to wait there, or are you going to go over towards the bridge, or...?
I'm going to wait and see how far away they are.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get a gauge of how far away they are. I'll probably wait a couple of minutes, then get bored and go over the bridge.
Yep.
Okay.
We've been marching around this dungeon for ages and not found anything.
Okay. So...
I'm not saying we won't find anything.
Okay, so you guys make your way across back towards the other ladder. And as you eventually get over to the other ladder, at the bottom of the other ladder, you can see... What have I done there? Yeah.
Tiny corridor.
Yet another corridor.
There appears to be nooks and crannies everywhere here, Aladai. However, the thought of leaving enemies at my back does not bode well with me.
I know.
We've left advice to Cager. Hopefully, she'll reflect that to the rest of the team. I suggest we investigate this little tunnel and see what we see.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. So, the two of you make your way into this tunnel here. And at about that point, I am guessing, Baldur decides to go and have a look at the bridge.
I'm bored now. Let's go look at the bridge.
Oh, right.
Okay. Okay, in which case, I'm going to call a quick comfort break there. While I go and grab myself a drink. So I will be back in a minute.
Let's get the cat on.
So call it, give it kind of 5 minutes or so, and I'll see you guys in a sec. See you guys then.
Okay.
Okay. And because I went up here earlier, I'm still here. Hi everyone! We're playing Conan 2T20 by Modifius. If you're watching, fantastic. Can't believe we're on episode 21 already. Time's just flying by. Any questions on any of the rules? Chuck it onto the YouTube page when Louis uploads it. We'll answer it the best we can. Although we're both We're all learning the rules as we're going, but we're getting there. Becoming more confident.
There we go. I'll come back, and that way you're not Billy No Mates.
That's all right. When you watch the review back, you'll see what I've been saying.
Somebody's going to be buying me mushrooms for Christmas.
I can't believe we're on episode 21, Louis.
I can't believe we're on episode 21. Mind you, you've gone a fair way. You know, you've...
Is that including the...
It's not including Vultures of Shem.
Vultures of Shem?
Nope. No, so we're about 25 episodes in total.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's quite long. It is quite long.
That's virtually a year, because we've had a couple of weeks where we've not been able to run as well.
Yeah. Tell you what, give me a sec. I've not got that open yet. We'll open yet another tab. It's getting ridiculous.
Some nibbles.
Oh, I'm being good. I had the Hex game on Saturday. Man, I ate so much.
No, I meant in terms of my job digging.
Ah.
I filled in a few recruitment job applications, but also fired a couple off to companies randomly.
Oh, right, okay.
And fired one off Sunday night. And by 8:30 this morning, I had a reply from their HR recruitment saying, "I'd like half an hour to discuss your CV with you."
Nice. Oh, we like that. We do like that.
Especially when it's not a bloody recruitment agency, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So,
I'm trying to find.
but that'll be a move to Reading.
I
Which
know
Reading?
somebody in Reading.
That's
Which
quite
Reading?
near me.
No, which Reading? There's two of them.
Do you mean
Four
there's
for
two
that
of
one.
them?
Two of them. Not here.
Well, I'm thinking
Where
it would
the
be a
Reading
move
Festival is, Berkshire.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
fair enough then.
where James is.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. I can go on the lash for James.
God's no. Sorry, did I say that aloud? Oh, come on. How do I find...
Since when-
I loathe YouTube.
I can't remember the last time I was actually drunk.
I still haven't sobered up yet.
No, I have a couple of beers, but I never actually. I rarely go out drinking. I don't go out partying,
Nah.
and I can't remember the last time I was actually drunk because I enjoy a social drink. I don't like getting to that point.
I remember the last time I was drunk.
This weekend?
1989, I think.
What is the matter with you?
I wasn't born then.
Yeah, I know.
Did you just say you weren't born then?
Yeah.
He wasn't born then. I know he wasn't born then.
Fuck me, I feel old.
Okay, we are
I
live.
wasn't born for another 9 years.
Oh my life! You know, you said it was. You know, you said it was nearly a year. Yeah, he's 98. 98, mate. He was born. Now, how old do you feel?
I have a son and a daughter older than you, Ollie.
Yeah.
I have a son that's not quite as
Yeah.
old as him.
Just leave me out of this conversation.
As he enjoys pointing out to him. We streamed the first episode of The Vultures of Shem 29th of May last year.
Oh,
So yeah,
That's what I
it's
said.
just over a year. Last session was our anniversary.
Wow. There you go. See?
and that's got to be like 4 years or something since we started, like with Al Qadim, surely.
Oh, I don't know. Give me half a sec and I'll.
Shall I scare Ollie? While I was in secondary school, Ollie, and heading into the sixth form, they just started to get computers. Loading off tape drive.
Were they the old acorns?
No, before that. Way before that. They didn't turn out for another 2 or 3 years. Loading off tape drive.
See, I remember projectors and whiteboards.
Were they the old acorns?
No, before that.
I remember that.
Yeah, way before that. They didn't turn out for another 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Loading off tape drive.
See, I remember
Charlie,
projectors and white.
No, it's clay tablets, yeah. And a stylus.
I remember the old BBCs with them huge floppy disks like that.
Yep, 8-inch ones, yep.
Yeah, I found a whole stack of those at work about 15, 20 years ago and went, wow. I don't quite remember those.
And then
I
for
remember
a
5
bit-
and a quarters, but not 8s.
8s, yep.
You don't remember them?
I remember the BBC Bs were 5 and a quarter inch discs,
Yeah.
weren't they?
They were, yep. And the A's, BBC A's. They were tape drive only. C60s and C90s.
Yeah, I remember using those on Spectrums and
Yeah.
C64s
Yeah.
and ZX81s. Still got
ZX81
somewhere.
With
There
the,
you go.
what's it, the turbo loader with all flashy screens.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they were great. Right, I am just going to, before we get back into this, I am just going to check because Ollie mentioned it. As soon as I can find where I can get to my channel. There we go, my channel.
Al Qadim.
Playlists. Al Qadim. First Al Qadim was 28th of November 2014.
So nearly 4 years.
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah. Yeah, man. Been a while.
Well, I went
Oh
through my
life.
I went through my
No
attic
idea how young
weekend
James looks.
and pulled out my Amstrad 464.
ooh.
Takes me back.
I had a 6128.
I had
Next model
both,
on.
and I remember sitting there with a fucking Phillips head screwdriver adjusting the heads to make sure the game loaded correctly.
Oh, the 6128 had a 2-inch floppy disk, so that was all right.
2.5 floppy in the side, yep, correct.
No, 2-inch floppy. It was a different size, 2.5's the current one, or the old one. The non-existent 721. Yeah.
I had a 2.5 in my 851.
That's it.
8512.
Yeah. Yeah, the Amstrad 6128 had a 2-inch one. Amstrad built 2-inch floppies.
Playing Monkey
not?
Island on 13 discs.
Yeah. Installing Windows 3.11 off of 11 floppy disks.
My dad, we'll stop this and get back on with the game in a sec. My dad remembers not being well, being off work sick one day, and he's feeling really, really awful. And he installed Microsoft Office onto his PC on 1.5-inch floppy drives. And he said
1.5 inch.
there was a
144s or
sorry,
720s?
3.5.
That's better.
3.5. Yeah, 3.5s. Yeah, there was a stack of about 25 of them.
That's it. Yeah.
So he said he just sat there and he was like, I don't feel very well. Put a disc in,
Push the button.
press go,
Yeah.
wait, and then it'll say, insert next disc.
Press the button. The disc comes
Take
out.
that
Put the
one
next
out.
one in. Clunk.
Put the next one in. Clunk. He said it took him about an hour and a half,
Yeah.
but it was just about the level where it stopped him from getting bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get that.
Right. Having now lost any tension that I'd managed to build previously. Okay, so Baldur and
Actian and Cager.
Baldur, Actian, and Cager are going to walk towards the walk up to the bridge and onto the bridge.
I don't know what Cager's doing, but Baldur and I presume we're going to walk.
Up to the bridge and then onto the bridge if it looks safe enough.
Okay.
I think Cager,
I'm going with him.
because she was there to cover the back and you guys were going, would probably follow you across the bridge, actually, going...
Well, I thought I was onto the bridge at the moment.
Yeah, I think she'd follow you.
Okay. So the one thing that I will say is, as you step up to the bridge, previously when you were on like the cliff behind you at this point, you could see the bottom quite easily when you got close to the edge of it. From here there is just this inky blackness and this one span, fairly substantial span, I don't know, 3 feet wide, something like that, crossing in, or just heading out into this pit of oblivion.
Does it have
far as you can
railings
see.
or edges?
No, it just arches up, and then about halfway over what you can, halfway to what you can see, it arches up, and then just starts to cross back down. So you can see it come back down, and you kind of get the feeling that there's something. It opens up slightly the other side of where you can see at the moment as you stand at the edge of the bridge.
Is it a cave ceiling?
You can't see the ceiling above you.
Okay.
You can't see the floor below you. In fact, as you stand at the edge of the bridge and you look out, all you can see is just the arch of this narrow walkway in front of you.
Feels pretty safe then.
I'm guessing Baldur's going first. I just have this.
I'm excited to see the other side of this. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm keeping up with it.
Baldur, Actian, and then there's probably only enough space to walk single file over
Yeah, that's what
this
we're
thing.
doing, yeah. Let's see where we go.
Okay. I would like all of you to make me an acrobatics test.
Cage.
Oh, that's brilliant. Failed that.
Cage, you got 3 successes.
Cage, you got 3 successes. Baldur, is that 1 or 2?
I think that's 2 because it's 12. Hang on.
12 gets you 2.
12-1.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Right, I'm gonna throw one out to Baldur. Sorry, was that 2, Simon?
Yes, 2.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you 1 momentum.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw Cager 2 momentum. But actually, I am gonna tick this down to another scene. So you've lost the 1 momentum that you were holding, and you're now.
So do I get rid of my momentum that we're holding? My
No.
two?
That's. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I dropped that to you, didn't I? Rather than Doug. But yeah. So. Yeah. It doesn't. So
It's in
there's
the pool.
4
It's
momentum
in
in the pool. As Actian steps on a couple of stones and kind of flicks them off the side of the bridge without meaning to. And the one good thing about this is that you can hear the fact that it takes a very, very long time.
Well, as I see him go over the edge,
Before
I'd
they
stop and start
hang.
listening to see how long it took. Deliberately.
It takes a long time
Yep.
before they twang off something in the darkness below you and then bury themselves into something. There is, there's like a long pause.
Just stops. It doesn't bounce around. It just stops.
It doesn't bounce around. It just stops.
Does it thud, or does it clank like a stone would on stone, or does it hit water? Or does it bounce and then go thud?
Pings off something and then hits probably sand.
Fair enough.
Sand, I'll be alright to fall down.
Right. Okay.
Bury me where I land.
How many Mississippis are falling?
I'm not sure. Enough to give you a feeling it's a damn long
I
way
was
down.
listening. It's death if you go off the edge.
Because isn't it normally something like each one is 10 seconds of descent? An
For a
average.
feather or a hammer?
Doesn't matter.
It does on Earth. There's air.
Okay.
This is all very good, but this is not telling us what's on the other side of that bridge.
No, it's not.
No. But one of the things that you do find is suddenly there is a shower of, well, not a shower. There's about 4 or 5 arrows that suddenly rattle off the bridge and rattle around behind you. Now, they're not coming from close to. They're coming, and they're not coming from right in front of you, but they're coming from off, probably somewhere to your left. But just at the moment, I don't think anybody, as you're stood on this incredibly narrow span, is feeling particularly like really trying to pinpoint them. But there are suddenly a couple of arrows twanging out of the darkness at you. And just like I say, couple hit the bridge itself on the side, and one flies within a gnat's whisker of Actaeon's head, and then you hear it rattle off the cliff behind you.
I think it's time to charge forward. What do
Okay,
you
so
think, Charlie?
Baldur's going to run forwards.
Yeah.
It's time to go somewhere, so I'm going to walk briskly. It's quite narrow and I've already slipped. Yeah.
Okay.
I've already made a mistake.
Quite
Right.
frankly, I would have get off the bridge before I get shot at again.
Well, I don't want to fall off the bridge. So I'm going to go at a fast pace but not run.
Okay. So you guys make it to, as you run forward, your lamp illuminates just this kind of narrow piece of rock which just falls away sheer on a couple of sides. In front of you, you can see a ladder disappear over the edge, and there's just a little wooden platform below it. There's a couple of these barricade things either side of the bridge, but there doesn't look like there's anybody up on the bridge. But beyond that, there's just inky blackness falls away again, and again there's a couple of arrows like shoot out of the darkness, and ping into the stones around you. I am going to say there is an involuntary shout from at least one of you as that happens, and you peg it over the bridge. So it's about this point that Aladai and Genghis can see the cave just starts to open up in front of you, and then you hear behind you a loud squawk and the sound of arrows pinging into rock.
Do we hear that?
Yeah, you'd hear in the otherwise quietness.
We did the clatter.
About 50 foot away, you hear, "Whoa! Get going! Get going! Get going!" Ching, ching, ching.
Ching, ching. We're gonna save them again.
What do you know about these cave dwellers? They've got a sense of rhythm.
Yeah. Hit them with your rhythm sticks. I think I'd turn around and say, let's go and start running.
Okay, so as you get out, you can make out the far end of this spire, and this just... you almost stop and blink when you first see it, because you can see the lamps out in the middle of this inky blackness, just apparently suspended in nothing. And then kind of your eyes quickly grab it and you realise there's something there, but it's an odd sign. It's an odd sight. So you guys sprint over towards the bridge. The guys on the top of the on the top of this spire, what do you do?
I'm going to turn back and look behind and see if I can see anything.
Okay, you can briefly you catch sight of a lamp hurrying from the far side.
Yeah, I'll wave mine left and right, sort of like you would do with a tractor, slow a steam train or something,
Okay, so you're basically standing on the top of the on the top of the spire.
I'm standing back a bit from the edge because I don't get shot with arrows. Hopefully behind one of the pretend barricades, and waving my lamp so they can see it.
If you all right, so standing, so you're stood kind of
Off
when
to
you
one
say
side.
when you say behind the barricades from where from where Genghis and Aladai are running in
Off
towards
to
you.
the left, I'll be standing just behind the barricade, but I sort of turn right as we came off the bridge.
Okay. Baldur, what are you doing?
How far have I got over the bridge?
You've got completely over the bridge. You're on this kind of rock platform.
So, can I see who's shooting it, or have I got a better idea of what direction it's coming from?
It's coming from maybe the south, and you don't think you're being shot at from the west, but kind of the south and maybe the east. But
so I'm assuming the black lines just here. As you got over the bridge, there's two kind of like black lines.
Yeah, they're barricades.
Right, so I could dive behind one of the barricades.
To dive between the barricades and where you think the arrows are coming from is going to put you on a piece of rock about that wide.
Okay. All right, I'll carry on charging towards where I think the arrow's coming from then.
Okay, well, pretty much as soon as you get into the middle of where are we? As soon as you get into kind of about here, you realise that basically this platform's about 10 foot, maybe 15 foot at most square. There's a ladder on the far side that goes down to a wooden platform, but if you continue to run towards where you think the arrows are probably coming from, you're going to reach the ground eventually, but you're going to run out of option about which direction you're going quite rapidly.
Okay. Well, the next thing I'd be looking for then would be cover.
Okay. You could probably just kind of drop prone on the top of this thing, and that would hopefully provide you cover, but there's not a lot of cover up here. Basically, it's just like a bare rock top. There's cover between here and where you've just come from, but beyond here to beyond, there isn't any.
Okay, well, what else do I do? I'll take whatever cover I can get.
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of drop prone and just kind of try and stay out of the way.
Trying to crawl to a point where I actually think I can fire back.
Okay. You'd want to be over towards the edge of towards where the wooden platforms are then, really.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, what's Cage doing?
If Cage got any idea of where they're coming from?
Other than sort of somewhere out in front and maybe off to a left, but not completely off to a left, but somewhere off to a left.
You mean south and east, yeah?
Yeah,
South
south and off to the south and east. She knows he's not coming in from the west, but that's about it.
And has she identified the fact that this is like a plateau and there's...
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she'd charge in.
Charging at what?
To wherever they were coming from.
She can't.
Well, they're coming from out off the plateau. They're coming from out of the darkness to somewhere to the south and to the east.
Right, okay.
They are on the top of this plateau or on the wooden platforms below you.
So they're ladders below.
There's a ladder immediately to the south of the plateau.
Yep.
Goes down.
That takes you down to a wooden platform, and you're fairly sure that just to the east of that there's another one that takes you down to an even lower platform. Much beyond that, you're not quite sure.
Okay, Cager would run to here.
Yep.
And lie flat on the ground.
Okay, which is pretty much what Baldor's doing. Okay, so yeah, you're getting kind of incoming arrows, twanging off. Genghis is crouched down with his back to one of those barricades, trying to stay low as well, but more to the north side of that. And Aladai and Genghis are actually by this point have probably just about got to where your G is on there. Baldor, make me a actually I'd say Baldor and Cager can make me observation checks. I'd say they're probably going to be a difficulty 3 to try and work out, to try and pinpoint roughly where these are coming from.
Does that mean I can spend my point of momentum to get an extra dice?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, I'm going to do that. So my observation is 9-1.
One success.
So you make 1 success.
Cage's got 1 as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can't work out where those are coming from. They're coming in from somewhere, but exactly where. Just the thing is that they enter your lamplight very, very briefly, and now that you've hunkered down a bit, there's like an occasional shot, but the shots die off quite quickly when
the arrows still whistling past.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is once you duck down, there's a couple more that come over, but
I'm still standing up. Okay.
I thought you said you were crouching down.
I've stood behind a wooden platform.
Oh, you can't stand right.
I'm standing behind it from the bridge, but I'm not standing behind it from the people that are shooting
Okay,
at us.
but you're standing up.
Yeah.
Okay, in which case...
Because I waved my lamp to show the others where we'd gone.
Yeah, I didn't realise you were still standing. In which case... That is not enough for you to get hit, but there's a couple of arrows that get very close to you.
So I'm going to duck down.
Yeah, probably a wise move.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're thinking shoot at the light source that's waving.
Okay. Genghis, Aladai.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
You don't like leaving bits behind you.
That's what I'm actually going to call out at this point because it's obvious we've been engaged. Stealth is no longer an issue. What's happening?
Just shit, mate. Arrows. Archers.
And as you shout out what's happening, there's another couple of arrows come flying out from somewhere south of you, and whistle just over your head.
I thought he'd learned his lesson about noise.
So are these flying in an arching loop over our head, or are they literally a direct line and they're descending?
It's pretty difficult to tell because you only see them in about the last sort of 30 foot of their flight, if that.
Yeah, but are they in a downwards arc at that point, or are they still fairly straight? I'm an archer.
Probably fairly straight at that point. Yeah. Yeah, you
So
got
they're
the
not
feeling
fire-
they're coming more direct.
Yeah, they're not firing
than
from
up.
below us.
No.
Okay. So I'm going to call out. There's another level somewhere similar to ours. They're not firing from down below. In which point?
You're only assuming they're going straight horizontal. They could be going straight 45 degrees.
Yeah, I'm going to say to Eladai, we're not in a good position here. We need to move back to the cave mouth.
Okay.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm running in that direction.
Okay. And Aladai's going with him?
Yep. He's there's a moment, but he's like, yeah, no, this is.
So the guys that are pinned down on the top of that spire of rock, what are you?
I'm going to whisper to the other two that are laying on the other side of the rock and possibly can't see that Baldor and Aladai have headed back to the cave mouth on the other side. Oh, he's stopped.
Okay, well,
Oh, he's moving.
I would like I would like the three of you on the top of the spire to make me observation checks.
And while they're doing that, whilst we're running to the mouth cave, I'm going to say to Aladai, we've seen no more ladders,
I'm rolling one.
and they're coming from the other side of the cave, so there's got to be a way to access it, and I think it's through this tunnel.
I have 2 successes.
I like the logic there.
Okay. In which case, I'll tell you straight away. You can hear there's some kind of high-pitched sound similar to what you heard in the cave previously when you fought the guys in the mushroom
I
cave.
think it's their communication.
And if one of the things is it seems to be coming from below you.
Is there any rocks or anything else on this platform? Any gravel or anything else? Or is it clean?
There's a little bit of gravel on the top of it, but basically it's fairly clean.
I just want to pick up some gravel and drop it over the edge to see if there's any more wooden platforms.
Okay, yeah, no, you can do that. Yeah,
I can see 2. If I slide over to the edge, I can see 2. If I drop some gravel to the third, going around the spiral or something.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of bits that you don't think hit, but there's a couple of bits that end up impacting on something. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any more arrows coming over?
If you kind of sprinkle, you throw a couple of bits of gravel over the edge. No, probably at that point they don't.
Okay. So we'll look at the other 2 and decide what we're doing. So
okay, I think we've got to go onto the platforms.
I think we have, because I think it was the noise that attracted them, not the light,
Yeah.
based on past experience.
So could I suggest that maybe Kaja goes back to the wooden barriers, kicks one and covers us moving?
Makes noise on the other side of the platform.
Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. As long as she's happy with that.
Yep.
Or kicks it and crawls away from it or whatever.
No, she could lay on the floor here maybe, and using the flat of her tap it off the ground.
Okay.
Yeah, she can make enough noise that she can make a bit of a racket without making a particular target for herself.
So she's going to make a bit of a racket. You going down, Baldor?
Yeah, I'll go down.
Okay. I'll be near the top of the ladder. Not too near.
Okay.
Not for the moment, till you're down.
Yeah, no, I'll go down then.
Okay. It's only a drop of about 6 foot onto that platform anyway.
Right.
But okay, I am gonna ask for a stealth check. Basically, if you don't end up with a complication, then that's fine. I just want to make sure you don't get complication. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, yeah. So this is like pong, 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 and you kind of clamber down the ladder. You can see the top of another ladder near you. Axion, you following him yet? Or
I'm following him, yeah.
Okay, the two of you make it down.
Wave at Kaiser and then slide over the edge, yeah.
Okay. Genghis and Aladai are running for the cave mouth. You get to the cave mouth. Are you going to run into the cave, or are you going to slow yourself down and go in a bit more quietly?
I think we need to put some sort of pace down, but I don't think running's going to benefit us at all. Maybe like a not really quiet, but a fairly stealthy walk.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. So you guys turn the corner and like I say, you get a sense that this cave's kind of fairly big. Give me half a sec. Whoa. So I went to scroll up, and it suddenly went up about 6 pages instead of like half a page, which was what I wanted. I was trying to use touchpad on the mouse mat to change what was happening there. Right. Okay. As you get in, there are again just you can see in front of you. There's a field of these mushrooms in front of you, and they stretch off. They look like they're probably pretty much ready to be harvested. So you manage to get into that cave and just like look around you and go, okay, shed load of mushrooms. Been here, done this before. Okay. Is Cager just going to stay hammering on the top of this?
No, she just
while you guys are doing it, or
no, she just gives 3 or 4 bangs for now, and she's just laying there waiting.
Okay. I think she should wait until the point where either Baldur or Action said they were as far down as they could go, and then she'd make her way down as well.
Well,
okay, so
give us a bit of time, and if there's no pinging of arrows or anything else, then she'll follow us.
Yeah, she'd wait for you to say, right, we're down.
Well, she won't hear us. We're not going to say anything. We said, we'll go down if there's no noise. Come and follow us, because noise is bad.
Okay. In which case, she'd literally,
just count to 100 or something, and then set off after us if there's nothing going.
2 ladders, 6 foot each.
We're doing the first ladder. That's all we've done so far.
Oh, you've only done. So she'd wait a minute and then head down.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a second ladder in front of you that leads down further onto another wooden platform. So for Baldur and Action.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm going to go down.
Right.
Okay. Right. Okay. Right. I would like. Actually, you know what? I'll do this one based on Cager still giving you the cover and based on your last roll. So you guys get down to the bottom of the down to the bottom of that ladder. In front of you, there's a couple of kind of wooden bits, and then there's actually, it looks like there's a really narrow staircase carved into the rock spire itself, and then every now and then there's a little wooden platform bolted on the edge, with a barricade around it. So you reckon you can run, if you're careful, you can hustle from the platform you're on down to a slightly lower platform with a barricade that you can probably actually manage to get behind and get some cover.
That sounds good to me.
Okay, I want an athletics check off whoever's going first.
That'll be me, won't it, Charlie?
You bored if you want to go first? I can go first if you like.
No, I'll go first. So my athletics is 211.
Okay, so you make you get one success. That is enough.
You can. Oh, yeah. One.
You sprint down and above you, Cage has stopped banging on the floor by this point, and she's waiting to hear what happens. And you sprint down the stairs, and there's a couple of arrows like ping off, and you get down behind the barricade. Actian, do you want to follow?
Yeah.
Okay, make me an athletics. Make me an athletics check.
This is where it all goes wrong. I rolled. I've not rolled. Still rolling dice. It says rolling dice. I don't know what it's doing. There it is.
There we go.
I've got a success.
You've got a success and a complication, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you you make it down, and you know that gravel you dropped before?
Yeah.
Yeah, your foot finds that, and you bounce off one of the stairs as you go down and just topple off the side. You take 1 point of damage, which I'm going to say that passes armor, because that's like you falling 10 foot.
Yeah, so that's one vigor. Yeah.
So lose 1 vigor. You smack into what you assume is a wooden wooden platform, and unfortunately your light goes out, and lamp just like bounces away. And if anybody's extremely good, you can probably hear it hit something below if you're really focusing, but there's probably quite a lot going on at that point.
Yep.
Oh, damn. I want that. Okay, they've got a ranged of 10-1. Oh, you jammy sod. Okay, so they get 2 successes on as an arrow comes flying out of the darkness. And
can you parry arrows?
Not when you've fallen and just dropped onto the.
I know. I was only asking.
So that hits you in the left arm for 3 points of damage.
So another 3 points of damage.
How much soak have you got on your left
2.
arm? In which case you take 1 extra point of vigor.
Right.
As you kind of hit the deck and kind of scrabble around trying to find somewhere that's where you can manage to hide without kind of, your arm goes out and you think, where's the wall? No, that's the edge.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I just need to lay still and quiet for a minute.
Yeah. What's Cage you doing? The moment she's still up on top of the
again.
Okay, so she's still laying flat, and
the clatter and all the rest of it.
Plump and a fairly loud oof. Baldur kind of glances back up just in time to see Actian take a plunge off the edge, and you hear him hit something fairly solid below. Okay, you two guys who are exploring the cave, are you going in? I'm guessing you're going around the left-hand edge, so you're going around the or you're following the left-hand wall, so you're coming around the east side of that cave, not the north.
Yeah, I think the heading south we enter is probably the right way to do it.
Okay, so I'll show you a little bit more of this. Obviously, while you're doing this, you're going fairly slowly. Well, you're going the time frame's quite quick, so you're not going to see a lot of the cave at a time. But yeah, you're walking around the edge, just stepping on mushrooms. Okay, Baldur, you reckon you can run down the next section, and if you can make it to the next platform, you're already far enough around that you're probably only getting shot at from one side. But if you make it to the next one, you're probably behind the pillar itself, and they won't be able to fire at you for a little while.
Okay, I'll give that a go then. Do I need to roll?
Okay, athletics check, please.
5 and 11. That's definitely one success.
Okay.
Yes, 2 successes.
2 successes, right.
Because I got 11. If it's 11-2, does that mean it's free?
No.
No.
Because you didn't get below 2.
You get 1 for the 11 and 1 for the 5. If you got below a 2, that dice would have been worth 2 successes.
Okay.
So you've now got a momentum there to use if you want it. Okay, Actian, you can't see anything. The light above you, that was the only thing you could see.
I'm just being quiet. I'm just being quiet and feeling around my surroundings very carefully.
Yeah. As long as you stay absolutely still, you're probably all right. Is Kaja moving yet, or is she staying up there?
If there's any arrows sounding like still being fired, she'll probably stay where she is.
I think probably there isn't. I think there's kind of like you can hear some footsteps clatter below, but then it doesn't sound like there's any arrows incoming at this point.
Okay, then she'd try and head down to the next level to join Baldur and Actian.
Okay, make me a stealth check. Difficulty 2.
Stealth is okay. That's not too bad. In fact, someone want to chuck a momentum in?
I'll chuck it in for you. It's in.
Thank you very much. 5, 12, 15. That is...
Must be 1.
That is 2.
2.
That's 2. Okay. She manages to get down the first ladder pretty quietly and kind of pads over across to the next ladder. She's gonna have to put tact away if she's gonna hold a lamp.
She was already on the first one down, wasn't she?
No, she wasn't. She was still on the top of the spire.
I thought she joined you guys after the 1 minute, and then you.
No, this is still about the beginning of that 1 minute.
Ah, got you.
So she manages it down those 2 wooden spires, down those 2 wooden platforms. Interestingly, she at that point she's still kind of creeping down quite quietly. Okay, Baldur, you are now in a position where you can see there's another wooden platform, and then there's some more steps carved into the side of this pillar, and you reckon that a little further down you're probably going to have to end up exposing yourself again to...
Do I think I've got a bow shot from where I am?
You can't see anything. Well, from where you are, no. If you can get round to the other side of the...
Okay, all right. This is my plan, Louis.
Okay.
I'm going to have some rags or something in my backpack, or something I can shred into rags with a dagger.
Okay.
Yeah. I planned on soaking that in flask oil, binding it to an arrow, and firing an arrow in the general direction of where the arrows were coming from.
Okay, you can't do that from here because you're currently on the north side of the spire. So you've now got the whole of the spire between you and where the arrows are coming from, which is a perfect opportunity.
I'll start getting it ready.
Start cutting that up as
Making a fire arrow and as Kaja makes a
a run for it down the next bit. You two guys in the cave get a little bit further south. Okay, so Cager's now got this kind of exposed section, but like you guys before, she could see where the platform is. In fact, she can see where the two platforms are, because she can see from Baldor's light where he is around the edge of the pillar. So she's going to need an athletics check to get down and to like sprint down this set of stairs to the first.
3.
Oh, okay. I will take. I can give you 2 momentum for that, or I can not give you any momentum, and you can make it all the way to Baldor in one go.
In one go.
I think we'll get to Baldor in one go.
Okay. So yeah, there's a couple more arrows incoming. You can hear one of them twang off and hit the barricade just as you duck down behind it, and then as she's waiting for them to reload, she continues to kind of sprint down the stairs and gets round the corner next to Baldor, who's just like soaking strips in some of the oil and kind of trying to tie it onto the end of the arrow. I'm going to show you a little bit more of the inside of that cave. Once you've got that done, what's the next thing to do? So if you carry on round the side of the spire, you're going to be back. Probably at some point you're going to be shot at by one of the guys, but possibly not by the other. You could try and make a stealth roll to see if you could get down to.
Well, actually, I've got a very cunning idea, and I'm going to explain it to Kadja that if she moves ahead, hopefully that might give me a better idea of where these arrows are coming from, and I can try and get a flame arrow over there so we can see what's shooting at us.
Okay. So, I mean, you'd have to follow around, because at the moment, even if you could see where they were coming from, you can't shoot at them because you've got this kind of 10-foot wide spire in front between you. But yeah, so send Cager first. Is Cager going to try and be sneaky, or just try and sprint down to where Actian is?
I'm not quite sure how happy.
Where's Actian?
Okay, well, if Cager doesn't go, Baldor will go in front of her and act as a pincushion.
Are you going to try and sneak, or are you going to try and go quickly?
No, I'm just going to go quickly.
Okay. What about Cager?
At the same time, making varied chicken sounds back at Cager.
I think Cager would be running after you with tack. Get back here, Baldor.
Okay, I'm going to roll. Do I need to roll my athletics, Louis?
Yeah, give me. You need an athletics 1, which you've got. So you start to run down, and suddenly there's, especially as you're making loud noises, there is an arrow coming inbound at you. I'm going to have to roll for that, as you're actually kind of fairly deliberately making noise. Ooh, okay. That's going to. That's only going to hit you with a 1. Okay, so that's going to. So an arrow comes out of the darkness and hits you in left arm.
Yeah, I've got a soak of 3 there for that.
Okay, I think you are likely to be fine then. Let me go 3 combat dice. Oh, okay. You take 1 vigor damage from that, as you get hit for 4 damage. So 3 of those get soaked. You take 1 damage.
Okay, that's fine.
However, you've got a fair idea where that came from.
Okay, so once I get down to the next barrier, I will very quietly slowly take aim in that area. With
Okay,
the,
so Cage is sprinting down behind, isn't she?
if I remember, she was shouting at me.
Yeah, I think she was shouting at you. I would like an athletics roll from Cager.
Yeah, she was running at you because you called her a chicken.
I was making noises. He wasn't calling her a chicken.
Okay, someone make an athletics roll. That's a fail, isn't it? Okay, so she falls and damn, she suddenly gets hit for one.
She falls.
Well, she kind of yeah. If she fails her acrobatics check, she's going to slip on the stairs. She doesn't fall off the edge of the stairs, but she slips on the stairs and crashes down onto them. They're uneven cut, and she's trying to run. Bloody left arm again. I'm going to start rolling my actual physical dice at this rate. And right, so Cager is wearing on her left arm 2 points of armor soak, so she takes 1 vigor damage as an arrow comes flying in.
So when you made the hit location, did you put all of them as left arm?
No, I'm just going to see right leg, left arm, torso,
Nothing wrong with it.
Left arm. Left arm is coming up a little more often than I'd expect if it was properly random, but hey, sometimes random's like that. That's why Ollie doesn't use roll 20 dice. Okay. So, at the very least, one of the things Baldur does do is again get a slightly better idea. It is going to be a difficulty 3 shot if you're going to try and hit them. A D2 will get you close. But are you just trying to illuminate generally in the right area?
I'm just trying to illuminate them generally in the right area. I also want to see whether or not the illumination will actually scare them a bit.
Okay, they have no eyes. You know this from
right
previously. So
I'm trying to illuminate them to the point where I can see where they are and I can shoot better next time.
Okay, so make me a. It's going to be a D2, even so. So I want a D2. If you manage 3, if you manage 3 successes, you'll pretty much nail it into whatever they're near, so that it will continue to illuminate them.
Okay, can I throw a point of momentum into it?
You may indeed.
Our point of momentum. So that gives me 3d20, yeah?
That gives you 3d20.
Okay, right, so let's roll that. Five and 11 and a 13, and my ranged weapons is 16-3.
16-3. Okay, so that's 3. Yeah, so you got your 3. So you take a bead on roughly where you think it is and pull and release, and the arrow wedges into the front of one of these barricades, which is at this point slightly above you. It looks like there's a ladder hanging off the side of a wooden platform that just goes down into the darkness as far as you can see. The one that you've identified is there.
Okay.
And it's slightly above where you are now. So you've done pretty much a complete circuit of the you've done kind of pretty much one complete circuit of the spire. So you're pretty much underneath the first wooden platform that you were on. By this point, actually, you know what, Actian, you can probably start to see and get a feel for where you are. And you're lying on a wooden platform. You've actually got a barricade close-ish to you, but it's not doing you a lot of good from the attacks from where they're coming from. It's
but if I'm not moving, they won't hear me.
Yeah, but in terms of suddenly you can see you're not just lying in the darkness. I'm
roll a bit close to the barricade, try not to make any noise.
Yeah, well, the barricade's not going to do you much good because it's facing north. or kind of northeast. So it's facing back towards the cliffs that are overlooking you. But at least you can see where you are, and you can see. It looks like there's some more kind of steps carved into this, or a couple of wooden platforms after that.
So can I see, because I've become acclimatised to the dark, or can I see from Baldur's light?
You can see from Baldur's light that he's put down.
Yeah.
When he's managed by the barricade.
I'm just going to stay there for a minute, then they're obviously getting closer.
They're getting way closer to you.
Yeah.
They're only about 7-8 foot away from you at this point.
I'm just staying here.
Okay. In the cave, you guys continue to see a little bit further around that cave as you're moving in. I say it's a fairly sizable cave. You definitely get the feeling it's a fairly sizable cave, and there's no walkways that you've been able to see through the mushrooms at this point. Okay, so
Louis?
yeah.
Sorry, quick question. Should I have got momentum from me archery shot?
No, you
Okay.
needed three. You needed 3 in order.
And I got 3. Yeah.
Yeah, if you'd got 2, you'd have been able to see roughly where they were, and then it would have gone out.
Yeah.
Because it just would have bounced off the wall. But you
But we got
managed
more
to
momentum we can
nail
use.
it.
There's still 2 sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, shall we start with Cage at this point, because she is probably most urgently keen to get the hell away from sitting on the stone stairs being shot at with arrows.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to ask for an athletics roll for her to just like scramble down to get down next to Baldur behind this barricade.
She'd literally sort of slide in, grab the arrow, pull it out, and go.
Okay. You can probably just about make out the shadowy forms. The two of you can just about make out the shadowy form of Baldur lying on the sorry, not Baldur, of Actian lying on this on the next platform round. It looks like there's maybe a tiny bit of cover there, but not a lot. But from what you've seen, if you continue to sprint round, you can get down to the next platform down and get the spire back between you and the people that are firing at you.
Well, you can fire your arrow at him to try and hit him.
Yeah, or you could try and stay. Or you could try and stay behind the barricade and try and carry out.
My plan is to stay behind the barricade, and with my Bossian try and hit one of them, or just shoot generally at them.
Okay,
momentum.
At the moment, you reckon they're crouched down behind their barricade.
Yeah, which means I'm going to need someone to make some noise to get them to stand up.
I've got no cover where I am.
Kay just starts going, ay.
From where she is, or is she going to run down to where?
From behind, run down to the barricade and do it from behind the barricade.
Well, she can't do it from the barricade you're behind, but if she runs down to where you are and then continues round with you, she can get the spire between you and...
Yeah, when she gets nearer, I'll have enough light to move. So yeah.
Bear in mind, okay, basically what you're doing is wind. Yeah, but I'm not sure that everybody else does. So basically, you're winding, spiraling down this spire. So every time you get round to the north side of the spire, at the moment you're on the south side of the spire, but if she can manage to get down 2 platforms to the north side of the spire, she's out of the. You've got the spire between you and whoever the hell's shooting at you.
But there's still a person from the east.
Yeah, there's still been arrows coming in from the east.
Okay, she's going to run down, trying to get to the north, screaming, to basically try and get one of them to look up, so that Baldur, who's got a shot lined up, can introduce his arrows to their eyebrows.
Okay.
I'm going to roll over as far out of her way as possible and wait for her to go past. Yeah?
Okay, make me an athletics roll for Cager.
Last time I did this, it was this time wasn't very good, but it's. Oh, I think there's 2 actually. It is 2.
That is 2. Okay, right. She only needed 1.
Momentum.
So
Yay!
I will throw out a momentum for Cager. And okay, as she goes flying past you, I'd like Actian to make me an acrobatics roll for.
Yeah, she's making a lot of noise.
She is making a lot of noise.
And I'm staying here while she's making noise.
Okay. Okay, I am going to say they get a... Yeah, no, they pop up and definitely get a shot off at Cager. Neither of... so the one that pops up from behind the barricade that Baldor's watching doesn't manage to get a shot in. The other shot... Oh, it's going to cost me 2 doom because I can't work out what the...
What's the complication?
What's the complication?
It trips and falls off the back, falls out from behind his.
Yeah, I think I'll just throw out a couple of doom to pay that one off because I can't think of anything appropriate for that at this particular moment. So, yeah. So she gets down without getting hit. Baldor can now get a shot in if he wants to.
Yes, please. Does anybody want to throw me a point of momentum?
Yeah, go on, chuck it in, Doug.
Okay, right. So this is 3d20. Oh,
that's
I think
3
that's quite
successes,
good.
isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, you only needed 2, so you only needed 1, so you get 2 back. Although they are in quite reasonable cover, even standing up. So, yeah, roll me your damage. You've got momentum to spend if you want to do anything beyond that.
Okay, so it's the Bossian that I'm using, so that'll be 4 damage. If I spend a point of momentum, do I get to roll an extra damage die?
No.
No, but you could re-roll a damage die.
One. Well, roll your damage straight out of the gate anyway.
Okay, that's my damage.
Now, throw one in and re-roll the blanks, yeah? I'll chuck your momentum in, and then re-roll the blanks.
Hang on.
Right,
well, he's got momentum anyway, but okay, yeah. No, that's fine.
So
yeah.
just re-roll.
You can re-roll 2 of those. I mean, you can re-roll all of them if you want, but I'd say just re-roll 2 of those.
2.
Okay, so that's 4 damage.
Plus.
They are going to get... Okay, they've got 3 armour, 3 soaks straight away from the cover they've got. Have they got any soak? They haven't got any soak. Okay, so you're going to do 1 damage to them now, or you could throw in an extra momentum if you wanted to do 2 points of damage to them instead of just the 1.
What extras does he get for his extra bits?
Baldor's got...
The Bossian does volley 1 and piercing.
Oh, it does piercing,
piercing.
doesn't it?
Yes.
It does do piercing. Okay.
It's just an extra point of damage.
Only if they've got... Oh, yeah, actually, yeah. Yes, because that will pierce the cover, won't it? That's a good point. Okay, so they take
2 damage.
2 damage. Born in the saddle, no mercy. Okay, there's nothing for ranged... Yeah, there's nothing for ranged in talents for Baldor.
So I'll spend a point of momentum to add extra damage to that roll.
Okay, so that will do 3 damage to it. Where's this figure gone? So that's 3 damage to it. Okay. Right. Okay. So yeah, he kind of pops up, and you put an arrow into him, and there is definitely a loud squawk from him as he gets hit with the arrow.
Okay.
Is Actian going to follow?
I'm going to do a stealthy walk down there, being quiet.
Okay, make me a stealth check. They know you're there, so I'm going to want a stealth of 2 from you.
I
am. Well, I don't mind. You can fail it for all I care.
well, no stealth. Even though I'm 112, I've got no stealth.
Oh, okay.
Would have been the same for running, so makes no difference.
Okay. Oh, you jammy sod.
And they are useless, aren't they? Well, I need to get the one running.
Yeah. The arrow just kind of bounces off. You got a helmet? If you've got a helmet, it just kind of it bounces off whatever it hits, because I've just rolled absolutely no damage at all.
I'm doing the funny little cartoon sneak, yeah. With the bobbing up and down to the arrow miss me.
You kind of realize it definitely hits you, but it does no damage. It nearly scares the living daylights out of you, but it does no damage. And that didn't come from the same location. That came from off somewhere else. So I'm not quite sure where. But you guys are now stood back there. Now, okay, in the cave. Off to one side. Hello, I thought I'd done that next bit. The cave wall starts to. Oh, that's why I've got to pick reveal rather than select. The cave starts to curve back round to the west.
Can they see mushrooms?
Yeah, they're stomping through mushrooms.
Yeah.
Okay. As have we got? As Caja and Actian get round the north side of this spire, there's a really awkward little kink in the stairs.
Kinky.
Are we outside of all the archers now?
You're outside of the archers.
Yeah.
At this point, I would like you both to roll me a difficulty 2 survival check.
Oh, survival.
Check.
Where's that?
I've got to find it first.
Survival is...
Oh, it's just in awareness, underneath observation.
Is in awareness.
Yeah. Difficulty 2. Ooh.
Difficulty 2.
But the way I'm rolling tonight, I'm going to fail, so I'll give it a go. Yeah, fail.
You failed.
Total fail.
Total fail.
Story of my night. Total fail.
Did Caja fail?
Got 1.
Caja got 1, which is not enough. Okay. So as you round the corner and kind of kink round this thing, this log swings down from where it's been balanced, actually underneath the bridge above you, and okay. So Caja, who is the first one to arrive,
says,
I say.
I like that. Okay. Right. She takes 4 points of vigor damage. Let's find out where she's hit. So hit firmly in the torso, which makes quite a lot of sense. For 4 points of damage.
Soka 2.
Soka 2, so she takes 2. She is stunned for 2 rounds and knocked down flat onto her ass again.
What about the lamp? I'm asking. Because it'll affect my turn.
That is a very, very good point. What is she going to need to make to hang on to that?
I would say a resistance roll.
I would have said an acrobatics, but I don't know.
I was going to say acrobatics, but resistance is a good thought, actually.
And it's under brawn as well.
Yeah, is it a strength check? Go on.
Yeah, no, make me a resistance roll. Go for it.
It's not as good as the other one, but I just thought it made more sense.
Yeah, no, go for it.
8, 11... That's 2.
That's 2 successes. That is enough. Okay, so she manages somehow to hold onto this lamp as she hits the deck. Right, and Aladai Action failed that as well. So you likewise take 4 points of damage and get knocked flat on your ass. Hits you in the right arm somehow and spins you round as it
So I
knocks you
take
down.
2.
So you
Fair
take
enough.
2 as well. Okay. Give me half a sec. I will be back in half a sec. There's bloody alarms going off, so I just need to go and turn it off. Hang on a sec.
I'm not dizzy of this joke. I can't be wrong.
I don't think he actually realises it's 11 o'clock already.
I know, he's into it. He's got 2 parties going in different directions. One's
I know.
investigating. One's walking around a mushroom field.
Yeah, theory didn't go as planned.
Are you aware of the time, Mr. Louis?
I am. Are people okay to keep going for a tiny little bit longer?
Yeah, tiny little bit
Or
longer.
not? Okay.
Fine, tiny little bit longer.
So, I'm stunned for 3 rounds or whatever.
You're stunned for a couple of rounds, but
Rounds,
given that
right.
the 2 of you are there,
Yeah.
that'll. You will get up before Cager gets up.
But we've made a lot of noise as the log came down.
You have made a lot of noise, but it's the far side, so nobody's able to shoot at you.
No, but would they know that we were on the far side from? I should think they would, but
Yeah, they would. As far as what are people's stop times for tonight? Where's my if I haven't got this done by now,
Friday.
it's over.
Half
Friday
past.
for me.
I'm normally alright, but I've been up since 4 o'clock.
Oh, dude.
Half past
If-
11.
If you
That
say
would be-
you need like quarter of an hour to get to a point where you can pause, I'll be alright with that.
I should be able to do this. In another quarter of an hour.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so you guys get down to there. I will come back to Baldor in a minute, having said, okay, so you guys in the cave. This cave is starting to work its way back round to the west.
It's the biggest mushroom farm in the world.
It's a pretty big mushroom cave.
You've got to keep going.
I'm going to say to Aladar, I think we should up our pace a little bit,
Yep.
but it doesn't look
Definitely.
like this is going to be leading anywhere in particular. Yeah, we're going to open our legs a little bit, Louis, and start putting
Okay.
more movement in per turn.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Right. Okay, right. I'm just gonna keep that. Okay, so back on the thing. I'm going to start with Baldor. Baldor, are you going to stay there and keep trying to shoot at these guys, or are you going to follow the others?
I'm going to stay where I am and keep trying to shoot at these guys if they pop their heads up.
Okay. Okay, but you're staying well down otherwise. Okay, so that takes us to Cager and Actian.
Stunned.
2
Yeah,
rounds.
you guys are stunned for a couple of rounds. So actually, what I'm going to do is, because I'm guessing Baldor hasn't really got anybody to shoot at.
Yeah. We're just going to moan a bit and console each other that we're okay.
You know what, Simon? I will take a momentum for the flaming arrow that you have shot to actually set light to the barricade.
Okay.
Throw out that momentum and the light starts to set light to the barricade. At which point, 2 figures that are up there start desperately trying to, or get up and start trying to put it out, at which point you will get a clean shot.
Okay.
How did they get onto that platform? Can we see stairs or a cave?
There is a ladder which I haven't
fair enough.
drawn
No,
in,
that's just
admittedly, just off to the south side of that platform.
Then they start heading for the ladder.
Well, initially, no. Initially, they're going to try and start putting out the.
Oh, fair
It's
enough,
like
then.
something's hot, and they're going to like try and put it out with anything they can, which will give Baldor a clean shot at them.
Okay. So, am I taking that shot now?
You can take that shot now.
Okay, so 16 and a 14.
That is 2. You only needed 1. You get a momentum in there. Yeah, do you want to roll your damage?
Nice. 6 damage.
Looks like he's doing it again. Okay. No, it's 5 damage.
He gets one more for his bow, isn't he?
The effect is a piercing. Yeah. I am going to give them 1 combat dice of soak because they are... No, they're still behind the barricade even if it is on fire. No, they're 1 combat dice of soak. Okay, which gives them 1 point of soak. So, yeah, you basically do 5 points of damage straight through that.
1 wound.
1 to 3. That's a 1. Okay, so 5 points of damage. Let me just check whether these are... Oh, that fucking thing.
You get on there.
Yeah. Give me a moment. Basically, you kill one of them. But
Right.
give me half a sec.
Do we let off a big cheer on it? We can't see it.
Well, you'll probably hear it squawk horribly.
And then go thud when it gets to the
Yeah.
floor. If it falls off. Burn, baby, burn. What is a Death Star, maybe, Louis?
I've got a weather station in the kitchen, and we've lost the instruction manual for it, and I
I've got it
cannot
here.
work out how to turn off, how to just stop the alarm. But it goes off at midnight or 11 during British summertime because we lost the bit for that as well. Every
Is it
night,
the
but it's
same
quite
one we
quiet.
got?
So for upstairs, it doesn't matter. If you're playing a game at 11 o'clock, it bloody does.
Is it the same one we bought years
the-
ago?
Possibly, I'm not getting into that now.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, you managed to take out the one of these archers. The other one on the next round, I'm going to open up. There's a bit more of the map. Yeah, you guys are fairly confident by now that you're not going anywhere. The other guy takes a run for the ladder at the edge of the... Actually, he doesn't take a run for the edge of it. He very, very carefully creeps to the edge of the platform, which is really odd given that this damn thing's on fire. But it does give Baldor another shot.
Okay. Do you want to deal with Cager and Actian before?
They are
I
still
take another
stunned.
shot?
They are still stunned at the moment.
Okay,
We are
so
stunning.
I will take another shot then. So it's another 2d20.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm afraid I think that's a miss.
That is a miss. Not only is that a miss, but
Complicated this.
That's a faux pas.
you get an arrow as you fire at this thing, and the arrow. The reason that the arrow misses is that suddenly another arrow comes at you from somewhere off to your left and hits you in your bow arm.
Okay.
It does 2 points of damage. I'm guessing you've probably got soak on that
I've
arm.
got 3 points of soak on that arm.
Okay, so in which case it doesn't do any damage, but it knocks your arm off. Whoever it is up there seems to have managed to get a bead on you, and it came in from your left hand side. So yeah, it's whoever it is has managed to get a bead on you. Right, back in the cave. Yeah, by this point you guys can see the whole of the cave as it is. You've just basically done a big loop of a mushroom cave. Okay, so I'm going to start with Baldor, but I'm just going to sprint ahead and say, okay, so Cager and Action can get to act this turn, but Baldor, what are you going to do? There is that you've got somebody's firing arrows at you from your left, which you're not really getting any soak from your barricade from, but there is this thing that's creeping along and has pretty much just got to the top of the ladder.
Go for another shot. Is he frozen? Doug's moved.
No, I think Simon. You still there, Simon?
I'm still here. Sorry. Yes.
Okay, so do you want to take a shot at this thing and risk incoming fire, or do you want to try and get down the next section?
I'm going to take a shot on risk incoming fire.
Okay. Yeah, roll for it. This thing's kind of got to the top of the ladder, and he's just starting to get to the edge of to make his way down the ladder.
2 successes.
Okay, you.
In fact, I
only
think that's 3,
needed...
isn't it?
Yeah, that is. Okay. We should have been losing momentum at the end of each round, and we haven't been. So I'm going to give you. I'm going to take 1 away for the end of the last round, but you've now got 1 you've now got your 2 momentum for that. So that we'll leave it as is. I should have been doing that each round. Okay. So yeah, you managed to hit them. So roll me your damage, and then if you want to do something with momentum, you can.
Chuck a momentum in Simon and reroll.
He could. Can I just say, if he chucks in a he could chuck in a momentum and re-roll, or he could just chuck in a momentum for 1 extra damage.
Don't forget he's got
standing in the
piercing.
open with no armour.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
chuck up a momentum.
The 5 will kill it, I'm guessing.
He's got piercing. Don't forget, Louis.
Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't matter.
The enemy's
Basically,
one will kill it.
if he gets 1 more, he'll
Kills
get.
it.
Yeah.
He'll kill
I'll
it
just
because he
chuck
does
a
5
momentum
in a
in for the
round.
1 extra damage, Louis.
Okay. Right. Okay. So you. I'm going to use the hit location here. You hit him squarely in the chest, and he lets go. And
No.
bizarrely, there's no scream. There's a kind of slight. You get almost a slight headache as he plummets off the side of this thing, and then there's a loud clump at the bottom.
How long does it take to fall to the bottom?
From up that high, about the same amount of time as it did to take the small stone that you threw off.
Okay.
Quite a while. Right, the guys that are firing at you hit you. For 2 points of damage on your left arm, which I'm guessing is armoured.
It's armoured.
I
3
don't
points
remember
worth.
you sacrificing armour at that point. Okay, so you've got an arrow comes in from that side, but it doesn't manage. It hits you, but it doesn't do any damage to you. It's deflected by my armour. Okay, Actian, you kind of come back to your and I'm guessing trying to wake Cager up, who's just sitting there rigid, trying to get her breath back. And actually, she's not knocked out, but she's just like trying to get her breath back as this chunk of tree is probably still wedging her against the wall.
Yeah, I'll push it off her a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Baldor.
We're making a lot of noise. Making a lot of noise doing this, but different.
Yeah. So Baldor, you can't see who's been firing at you. It's obviously another probably another wooden platform up on the wall somewhere off to your left. But exactly where you can't pinpoint at the moment.
Okay, if I was to go back up to the last barrier we were at, will I have the spire between me and it?
You will.
I'll do that then, and I'll just go carefully.
Okay, so you're going to go
run.
back You're going to go back up rather than go down.
Yes.
Okay, right. Yeah, no, you can get round to a kind of 9 o'clock position on the spire, and you're out of range there. Okay, so Actian and
Cager.
Cager, you managed to kind of get yourselves up, and you're at about 12 o'clock. You can kind of creep down. There's a couple of wooden platforms. As far as you're aware, you've not seen anything come in from the west side of that cave.
Nope.
So you can probably just climb down a couple of the ladders and
That's what we're going to do.
down. Okay.
Head down.
Yeah, so there's no more stairs carved into the side of this at this point. There's just kind of wooden platforms. So you like climb down a ladder and there's another one and another one, and that's going to bring you back around. At the moment, you're kind of directly underneath where Baldur is.
We'll go down until we get to a big enough platform to wait.
Well, you can. I mean, you could basically stop and wait anywhere you wanted to. There, you're round.
Yeah, we're going to go down, find a big enough place to sit where we can both sit. Go down a few levels and stop.
You could both stop where you are now, if you wanted to.
That's probably our bet. Well, we're not being shot at, so it's probably our best bet is to stop here for a minute.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to stop at about 9 o'clock
on
the way round there. Okay. Genghis and Aladai, you guys get out of the cave. You know what? I'll need to re-watch this to really nail where we're at, but I think this might not be a bad place to stop for this evening. You guys come out and you can make out just about there is a so what can you see? You can see 2 lamps part way down a spire that you didn't even realise was there, like 20-30 feet down this thing. You can see 2 lamps, one above the other. There are 2 figures at the bottom, and one slightly higher up than that. And across on the other side of the wall, there's just this like flaming platform, which is catching. Well, there's something on fire on a platform, kind of stapled to the wall. And I think that sounds like a fairly good place to stop. Does that sound good to people?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
do you want to chuck one momentum in for the end of the round while we remember?
Oh, that's a point. Yeah, if somebody can throw in a momentum for the end of the.
We'll do.
Okay.
Done.
Then that's sorted as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that is okay. Right, I'm going to go offline. Hopefully, anybody that was watching that enjoyed it. And we'll be back in a fortnight, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just save the character shooting the damage.